In a world crying out for answers, a voice rises above the din, bringing revelations that could change everything we know. Yes, this is Pope Francis, and what he has just revealed about Jesus could redefine centuries of belief and teaching. Are you ready to hear the truth? We all seek signs, hope for miracles, and deeply yearn to understand the greater purpose of our existence. But what if I told you that recently, in a closed meeting, the leader of the Catholic Church himself spoke words that could not only enlighten, but also challenge everything we thought we knew? On this channel, you will find a special series that delves into the depths of these revelations. Let's delve together into the implications of these words, understand the context, and discover how this could impact the faith of billions around the world. But to unravel this mystery, we must first ask ourselves, what exactly did the Pope say? How did he do it? And most importantly, why now? Don't miss a single detail. Sign up now and turn on notifications to be the first to receive every part of this incredible story. Be part of this journey with us and discover the impact these words have on your life and faith. You won't believe what you're about to discover. This is a moment of revelation, a moment of truth. Welcome to our channel where the past and present meet to discover the future. Sign up and join us in this unprecedented exploration. At the heart of Pope Francis' message is an urgent and moving plea. To truly know Jesus, we must reach out to the poor and marginalized. This vision not only resonates with the core teachings of Christianity, but also challenges believers to rethink their understanding of holiness and service. The Pope emphasizes that it is in the suffering faces of the less fortunate that the face of Jesus is most clearly revealed. From the beginning of his papacy, Francis has been a champion of the poor, criticizing the injustices that lead to poverty and calling the world's attention to the need for compassion and action. He describes the commitment to the poor not as an adjunct to the Christian faith, but as its core. We cannot call ourselves Christians without recognizing our brothers and sisters who suffer, Francis has said on several occasions. The Pope sees poverty not only in economic terms, but also in spiritual and social ones. He speaks of the contemporary culture of throwaway, which marginalizes not only the poor, but also the elderly, the sick, refugees, and anyone seen as useless or a burden to society. Against this view, Francis presents Jesus as someone who always turned to the abandoned and forgotten, teaching that they have a special place in the kingdom of God. This closeness to the poor as a path to knowing Jesus is a call to an authentic conversion of heart. The Pope emphasizes that this is not a simple act of mercy, but a matter of Christian justice. He calls for a church that, after the battle, will be a field hospital, healing wounds and warming the hearts of the suffering. With this powerful metaphor, Francis evokes the image of a church that goes beyond its own safe boundaries to bring God's mercy and love to the most desperate areas. In addition, Francis has concretized his theology in concrete actions. He has opened a dormitory, a shower room, and a barbershop for the homeless in the Vatican, and has celebrated many masses to which not only the poor but also honored guests have been invited. This commitment has inspired a new wave of social action among Catholics around the world, encouraging them to see service to the poor as a deeply spiritual way of life, not just an ethical obligation. This call to action reinforces the understanding that in the face of poverty, it is not just about helping others, but about enriching one's own soul. Finding the poor means finding true wealth, says Francisco, reversing the logic of materialism and individualism that often dominates contemporary societies. Francis argues that the Church must be a living reflection of Christ's love and mercy, accessible to all and free from bureaucratic barriers that can discourage the faithful. For him, this means dismantling any aspect of the Church's structures that do not contribute to understanding and practicing the faith in the context of service and humility. The Pope sees these changes as crucial to the Church's mission to spread the gospel and serve the marginalized. Francis' approach to reform is radical and practical. He has initiated significant changes in the Roman Curia to simplify and streamline the administrative processes that govern the Church's global work. These reforms are seen as important steps toward making the Church more agile and responsive to the needs of Catholics around the world. In addition, Francis has focused on promoting a culture of greater inclusion in the Church hierarchy. He has appointed cardinals from parts of the world that have historically been underrepresented in top-level decisions, seeking more diverse representation that reflects the Church's universality. He has also promoted a more prominent role for women in the church, despite significant structural and theological constraints that limit its ability to ordain women as priests. The Pope has also emphasized the importance of listening in the life of the church, advocating for a synodal approach to decision-making that encourages discussion and reflection at all levels. This includes broader consultation with laypeople on issues from liturgy to sexual morality, a step toward democratizing how doctrine is lived and understood. Francis insists that a truly merciful church will be transparent in its actions and open in its deliberations. This is reflected in his desire to confront and right the wrongs of the past, such as the cases of sexual abuse in the church, which he has addressed with renewed sincerity and determination in implementing rigorous measures to protect and support victims. In a fast-paced and often impersonal world, finding a moment of inner peace can seem challenging. Yet for millions of believers around the world, the key to that peace is a personal, intimate relationship with Jesus Christ. This relationship, centered on prayer and service, provides not only spiritual comfort but also practical guidance for daily life. The importance of cultivating a personal relationship with Jesus is a central theme of Christian doctrine and has been emphasized by religious leaders around the world. This relationship is not seen as simply part of religious practice, but as the heart of the Christian experience. Knowing Jesus is the greatest gift that anyone can receive. Finding him was the best thing that ever happened to us, and knowing him through our witness is our greatest joy, said Pope Francis, emphasizing the joy and transformation that this intimate relationship can bring. Living in the presence of Jesus is not a retreat from the world, but a deeper immersion in it through prayer and service. Prayer, both public and private, is the vehicle through which Christians express their hopes, fears, gratitude, and regrets to God, finding in response not only comfort but also direction and purpose. Many say that it is in the silence of prayer that they hear God's voice more clearly, guiding their decisions and strengthening their commitment to Christ's teachings. In addition to prayer, another pillar of a personal relationship with Jesus is service to others. Christ taught that service to others, especially the most vulnerable and needy, is service to oneself. As you did to one of the least of these my brothers, you did to me, Jesus said, establishing a model of compassion and service that continues to inspire acts of mercy and social justice around the world. In this selfless service, Christians often feel even closer to Jesus, because through active, sacrificial love, many feel that they are truly living their Christian values. Educators and spiritual leaders have emphasized the need to integrate a personal relationship with Jesus into the fabric of daily life. It is taught that every action, every word, and every thought can reflect Jesus' presence in the life of the believer. Through daily practices such as Bible reading, meditation, and volunteering, believers are encouraged to develop an ongoing dialogue with Christ, allowing him to influence all areas of their lives. In an age of isolation and individualism, the call to a personal relationship with Jesus is also a call to community and sharing. Prayer groups, community service, and parish activities are places where believers can grow together in faith, supporting each other on their spiritual journeys. This personal relationship with Jesus is therefore a powerful path to personal growth and social transformation. It offers individuals a moral compass, a source of strength in difficult times, and a constant invitation to a life of meaning and purpose. It is not rituals and dogmas, but a living and active relationship with Jesus. According to many Christians, that is the true path to a full and fulfilling life. From the beginning of his pontificate, Francis has placed interfaith dialogue at the heart of his program, emphasizing it not as a diplomatic luxury, but as an urgent necessity for promoting peace in the world. Through historic meetings with leaders of different religions, from Islam to Judaism and Buddhism, the Pope has shown that, not only by tolerating religious diversity, it can also be celebrated as a treasure of humanity. One of the emblematic moments of his pontificate was his meeting in Abu Dhabi, where he and the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, Ahmed El-Tayyib, signed a document on human fraternity for world peace and common coexistence. This gesture not only confirmed their commitment to interfaith dialogue, but also set a precedent for future Christian-Muslim cooperation. Francis insists that interfaith dialogue should not be seen simply as an exchange of ideas, but as a vital commitment to addressing contemporary global challenges. He believes that issues such as poverty, injustice, climate change, and mass migration can be better addressed when leaders and followers of different traditions join forces to provide support. The Pope's philosophy on interfaith dialogue is built on the foundation of mutual respect. He often speaks of a culture of encounter, a concept that goes beyond the simple passive acceptance of differences and focuses on active and positive engagement with others. The future is ours when we are able to build bridges between people and to break down the walls of division, Francis said in one of his homilies. In a time of growing polarization and extremism, Francis's inclusive and loving approach provides an important counterpoint. He shows that it is possible and necessary to seek peace and understanding through dialogue, and that religions, far from being sources of division, can be powerful allies in building a more just and peaceful world. The challenges Francis faces stem from centuries of tradition and a complex bureaucratic network, often marked by scandal and accusations of corruption. The need for reform was clear and urgent, and the Argentine Pope wasted no time in implementing a series of significant changes that are redefining how the Church operates internally. One of Francis' first acts was to appoint a special commission of cardinals, known as the C9, to review the apostolic constitution governing the Curia. The goal was to simplify structures, reduce redundancies, and ensure that Vatican departments operated in a more synchronized and service-oriented manner. The move was not only administrative but also symbolic, reaffirming his commitment to a more humble and less self-centered government. Furthermore, the Pope has tirelessly promoted financial transparency, a historically opaque area of the Vatican. Under his leadership, the Vatican has introduced new financial disclosure standards and created oversight bodies, such as the Secretariat for the Economy, tasked with monitoring all financial activity and ensuring it complies with international good governance practices. The changes come in light of past financial scandals that have tarnished the Church's reputation. Francis has also addressed accountability. He has established stricter rules on abuse and corruption, ensuring that even high-ranking officials are held accountable for their actions. In an unprecedented move, the Pope ordered the arrest of a senior prelate accused of financial crimes, signaling that no one is above the law, even within the sacred walls of the Vatican. The reform of the Curia and greater transparency in the Vatican are seen by many as a direct response to criticism and an attempt to restore faith in the administrative heart of the Catholic Church. These changes, while complex and met with internal resistance, are hailed by many believers and observers as necessary steps to align the Church more closely with the principles of the gospel it preaches. In an era of skepticism and questioning of traditional institutions, Francis' commitment to reform is a powerful expression of his determination not only to proclaim but to practice the true essence of Christianity. Through these actions, he is not only reshaping the Vatican but also strengthening the Church's global mission as a beacon of hope, ethics, and morality. In publishing Laudato Si', Pope Francis directly addressed the links between the ecological crisis and social injustice, criticizing the structures of power that perpetuate environmental degradation and inequality. He challenges the notion that limitless economic growth is the key to human progress and criticizes the culture of throwaway that marginalizes the poor and vulnerable while destroying the planet.